Well, good afternoon again. Sorry it's been a while since I've posted a video. I've been busy with the holidays and it's a new year, so I figured I'd start in on a couple of projects I got stacked up here. This is, it's a few years old now. It's a Ryobi 705R string trimmer. And a couple of years ago, it started peeing all over my hands when I was using it, and the gas lines were all perished and split up. So I had some cheap acrylic or urethane lines available, but they weren't very good. So this is one of the original lines, and you can see it's pretty perished here. I cut it off a couple of years ago, but the problem has been that the line itself just falls off now when I'm using it, so it's being gassed down the side all the time. So I'm going to just go through and replace them all. Also, the primer plunger here is kind of perished. It's still soft enough. I'll take a look at it when I get it out and see if it's worth saving or if I should just order up a new one. But let me get the covers off here and we'll take a look at what we need to do. Let's see, what have I got here? I got a T20 Torx bit. A couple more on the bottom. Alright, filter looks good, not too full of crap in here. This was running really good, so I'm not going to go after the carburetor. You can see that it's been dripping out of everything. That's pretty normal. Let's see what else. I'll get the front ones off here. It'll take me a little bit. Yuck. Pretty oil soaked. Alright, so this one is definitely wrong. This goes up here, it can't fit right on there, so I'm going to replace this one. Yeah, this is why you don't want to use I guess polyethylene or the nylon fuel line. I buy this at the local hardware store, and it seems soft when you get it. You get it exposed to gas, and within a year, it's kinked up. And it just doesn't work anymore. So I bought some stuff off of Amazon. It seems okay. We'll give it a shot, see how it works. So with this kit, I got 4 different sizes. See if I can find something that fits about right. I think this one's too big. That might not be too bad. Fits pretty good. But let's see what we have for similar sized internal diameters. Yeah, I got this one here. Looks like it goes on pretty snug. So that's what we're going to use if the outside diameter matches correctly. It does there. And where is the one I just pulled off? The old original. Here it is. So that is the same diameter too. So that's what I'm going to use for both of them. So let me cut a chunk off here. I thought I needed some of the real thin stuff too. This is for there. And this one, oh, that one's looser. So that is the original one. That was this one. It looks about the same, but that end is smaller, so this is stretched. That's why it's leaking. Let me get a comparison with some of the small stuff. This one is a little bit too small, so that one would work up into here, but what you're going to see is that is too small, so the fuel is going to leak. So there must be another one here with the same internal diameter. Yes. This stuff here. So I'm going to cut off a couple of chunks of this just to have, and I'll worry about the length later. that one, which will go on here. I do need to invest in some better lighting out here in the shop. I can't see. As I get older, it gets worse. So then the thinner one of this one, which should be about the same length as this, I'm just going to cut myself a chunk about here. Always find to go a little bit longer. Well, lovely. I got it out, but of course I broke it. So there are two plastic snaps here. This plastic is so hard, it barely bends at all. So I was gently, let's say, coaxing it out with a plier, and all of a sudden I could feel it just give, and it snapped the little plastic tong right off there. So I'll order up a new one of these. I'll get the specs on it. Nice thing about it is that it'll have a better plunger. This one's still fairly soft and it's not cracked, but it's pretty hard compared to like the new ones I put in Home Light a couple of months ago. So I'll order up a new one and we'll get back to this in a couple of days. In the meantime, this is just fine. I checked it. That's up in there about 1/2 inch and it's good and tight. I'm also going to order up the new fuel filter / stone up here, so I'm going to be replacing all of these lines. I don't know why I have this little disconnect here. I suppose it makes servicing a little easier, but man, this stuff is really hard. I can't even bend it. So anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to go order up some parts and then we'll come back when I have a little bit of extra time and put this back together. Alright, so I took the brass, or the fuel line off the brass barb here, and you can see there's a bunch of schmutz on there. I'm going to try and clean it up. It's got some goo on the inside and some tarnish on there. I like to have those as clean as possible for when I put on the new fuel line. The carb I checked, it's pretty clean. I don't think I need to do anything with it. Didn't have any gas in it because it's all leaked out on the floor over the past few months. But I'm going to try a little Brasso on this. I haven't, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but this is Brasso. It's pretty good stuff. I use it for pretty much any kind of metal cleaning. It stinks. It smells like ammonia, which is pretty much what it is. I guess I'll do it the safe way. Put a little blob on the paper towel and go from there. It has a little bit of, well, it has a nice cleansing action to it. I don't know how it's going to do. It does clean up the brass part of it really easy, but there's some schmoo inside there from the old fuel lines. I may have to get something a little more abrasive to take that off. I'm also going to have to clean out the mess I made in the end of the intake, but that's easy. I just clean it out with a toothpick or something. This stuff does dry up fairly quickly, but you can see how nice that works on the finish. It takes all of just the corrosion and varnish off, but I think some of this fuel line has kind of melted either because of heat or chemical reaction, and it's not coming off. So I'm going to have to get after that with a bit of a Scotch-Brite. I'll do that and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. All right. That was a little harder to get off than I thought. It turns out this original, I don't have a piece of it here. It's that dark brown line that I took off that was still original. When I replaced this a couple of years ago, I used just standard nylon, and you can see that doesn't cause any real problems. But it turns out that there was some schmutz on there, which was, I had to scrape it off. I did first I started with a Brasso. Then I took a brass brush thinking, well, that'll get it off. Didn't make a dent. Tried red Scotch-Brite, and it sort of worked a little bit. Would have taken a lot of time, and it was hard to get behind here with that because they kept snagging up and everything. What I ended up doing is taking my razor blade and very, very carefully shaving it down to the point where I was just about through it. It was kind of a rubbery, sticky substance on there, so I'm assuming it was original fuel line. So I've cleaned it all up. It looks good now, and if I take this on there, it should go on. Yeah, that's going on nice and tight. So that new fuel line, I think, this yellow stuff, even though it does remain fairly flexible, as it ages, watch out for that. I suppose I was using oxygenated fuel with alcohol in it. There's quite a bit of crud on the outside of the engine that looks like that, where it gets, you know, but it's two-stroke too, so there could be oil residue in there. There for sure there is, but I'll have to watch that. I only like to use, for the last few years, and I haven't used this for about 4 or 5 years, I like to use non-oxygenated fuel only because it doesn't screw up the carburetors. Anyway, that's it for the carburetor here. I think we're in good shape. I'll put this on here when I put it back together. I don't like to leave them there dry just in case it sticks and then I've got something that's going to leak. But I checked it out pretty good. There are no nicks. If you look way up inside here, you can see a little bit of the dark varnish in there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not. See if I can get it to focus. Sort of. But anyway, it's clean. It's going to go back together. So now I'll go order parts. Thanks. Okay, welcome back. It's a few days later and it's really cold outside, 3 below 0. You can hear the furnace in the shop here is struggling to keep up. Hope it's not too loud. I'll check it later. So I did order them parts from Amazon. It cost me $7.99. I got 2 of the fuel filters. They're slightly different. I don't think it's going to hurt a thing. I don't know what the difference is here, but I'm going to put them in. I'm not going to, I know this comes apart here, but I'm not going to mess with that. I'll just give it a shot. So I got 2 of those, and I did get the new primer bulb. It looks like an exact fit. It's a little bit different color. I don't care. It's cold in here today, so these are pretty stiff. Furnace has been on for a while. It hasn't caught up yet. So we'll put this stuff in carefully today and see how it goes. So last time I fed the primer bulb return up into the tank and I cleaned off some stuff. It looks like I have a bit more oil and stuff oozing out from different spots, having sat here for a while. How's the tray look? Doesn't look too bad. I cleaned it up a little bit. It was pretty nasty. This is going to need some carb cleaner down here. I'm pretty sure that I should pull off the exhaust and take a look inside there. It's probably really plugged up. Let's see. I think I'll do that now. There it is. I think I've said this before. If you ever need some of these extended Torx bits, this is an Owl Tools 6-inch bit set, made in China. It's got anywhere from T7 to T40, and it has 3 of the T25s. I suppose that's the most popular one, so they'll wear out first. But seems to have everything here. I saw a couple of reviews online, and I've been happy with it so far. But I'm not endorsing it. It's just something I got from Amazon. Well, let's see. There we go. I wonder if there's Loctite on these. They are really wet. I bet there's a lot of oil in there. I don't think that comes apart. But let's take a look. Well, that's pretty clean in there. As you can see, there's been a lot of oil coming out of here. Oh, so inside this kit that came along, they also gave me the correct tubing. Or so it seems. I think that looks a little thin for the return. No, that'd go on all right. And then this one, yeah, it's the correct size. The outer diameter, yeah, I was going to use this stuff, which is a little bit thinner for the primer, but I think I'll just use the tubing that they sent me. I'm going to take this stuff apart now. All right, learning time. While I was changing the battery, I took a look down inside the tank, and I was having problems. Here's the one I originally had. I was having trouble getting more than like just this much sticking out of the bottom of the tank. Turns out there's this metal ring on here. What I ended up doing is I went inside and I pulled the one that's in there now out, and I pulled this metal ring off. I'm not exactly sure why it's on there. This one didn't have it. And it had a longer filter. The problem is inside the tank back here, because of the slope of the engine, or the base of the engine down here, it angles across. So as the bottom of the tank is here, and then the angle comes up, it comes up almost from here. So this, when the wall came up, when I had pushed it down, there was a good gap of about 1/8 of an inch or so between about here and here was gap, and so I had to take this thing off so the filter could go down. Now it's not going to go all down all the way, and I am still having a little trouble getting it in there. I got to take a look and see if there's another interference fit. But I put the I took that off and I put it back in, and you can see it got right down to where it was before. So I got to get something in there to put some pressure down on it. I don't want to break this tubing. I think it's pretty strong stuff, but I don't want to take a chance on getting it 90% of the way through and then having it pull off. So I'm just going to do a little bit of give and take here, and I'll come back when I have this figured out. Oh, that was pretty easy. It only took a couple seconds. What I remembered having done is I got this little wonder bar. So I just stuck this in the tank, went over on the top of the filter, and I pushed down very slightly as I pulled through here, and I watched. So I got about, let's see, I got 2 of the barbs all the way through. So if I look back here, I'm right about there. So I've got this through the plastic, and then there's the filter. So that should hold. It seems nice and tight. The next thing that went on was this little plastic ring. I don't know that it really does anything, but I think it's meant to be over the top of the fuel line here to give it a little more pressure up against the bottom of the fuel tank. I don't know how that really works. I think I had to do some pulling and stretching. Yeah, now it's going back. You have to pull on the fuel line to thin it out enough so this thing slides up. There. It's up against there pretty tight. I don't know that it's going to help anything, but we're going to try it. So we'll say that's it. So what is next? I need to figure out the dimensions here on the, I suppose this could go in anywhere here. I think what I'll do is just cut it about here so it's above that. I have to bring this fuel line down. Let's see, how does it look? To go through this hole. So it could go anywhere in here. So I'm just going to cut it probably about there. That was close. Almost got to get my med kit out. Alright, so that'll go there, and then this one is going to be a little bit longer, so we'll worry about that one when we get the carburetor back on. So for now, I can put in, where does it go? Where'd it go? It is in. So the return line is the long one, I believe. So that's just going to go on here. And I have to loop another one back around down and through to the carburetor. How is that for outside dimension? That's fine. That'll work. Actually, that one goes in this one here. Okay, that is good. So then I need a piece of this line here. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's good.